गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया एक्ट ऑफ 1858. नीड क्या है? रिवोल्ट बिकम क्लाइमैक्स. रिवोल्ट ऑफ 1857 served as a jolt to British government. The growing resentment in English against the company rule reached to its climate with the Mutiny of 1857. British policies were blamed. The politics of British government was blamed worldwide that British government failed to control the administration of India. Britishers blamed that the false policy of their government as the reason of the revolt. मतलब वर्ल्ड वाइड और होम दोनों जगह इनका विरोध हो रहा था. फॉर एग्जाम्पल डॉक्ट्रिन ऑफ लैप्स, complaint of leader. Since 1853, many English trader and settler had also developed a vested interest in India, and their persistent complaint was the company had been neglecting their interest. Munity was suppressed. The munity was suppressed, but it sent a ripple of fear to the London and convinced the British that administration of India must be taken over by the crown. A passing of 1858 Act. Later, Lord Stanley introduced another bill which was originally titled as an act for the better government of India, and it was passed on 2 August 1858. It was called Government of India Act of 1858 or 1858 Act या Good Governance Act. Key features of the Regulation Act of 1858. देखो, to end the maladministration of the company in India, it provided that India henceforth was to be governed by and in the name of Her Majesty. Provisions. End of British rule. The dual system introduced by the Pitt's India Act came to an end, and now India was to be governed by and in the name of the Crown through a Secretary of State and a Council of 5. The council was just advisory in nature. Separation. Secretary of State as a channel of communication. Secretary of State was the medium of communication from both the side as British government and Indian government. He had the power to implement any rule in India without consulting it with its council. State in council as a corporate body. It constituted the Secretary of State as a body corporate capable of suing and being sued in India and in England. Introduction of Viceroy. The title of Governor General of India was replaced with the Viceroy, which increased the prestige of the title holder, if not his authority. The Viceroy was appointed directly by the British government. Viceroy assisted by Executive Council. The Act of 1858 provided that the Viceroy was to be assisted by an Executive Council whose member were to act as head of different department and as his official advisor. Indian princes to remain independent. Indian princes were allowed to retain their principalities so long as they accept the suzerainty of British. Indian entry in civil services. The Indian civil services were to be instituted for the administration of the country. There was provision for Indians to be admitted to the services. Pardon was granted. Pardon would be granted to all the Indians who participated in mutiny except those who killed British subject. Importance of the Act. End of East India Company. The East India Company was ended after the implementation of the Act. India became direct colony. This Act made India a direct British colony. Ended Doctrine of Lapse. This Act also ended the Doctrine of Lapse. आर्मी रेशियो चेंज हो गया. बंगाल में जहाँ 5:1 का रेशियो होता था, अब वहाँ 2:1 का रेशियो कर दिया गया, और बॉम्बे और मद्रास में 5:2 का रेशियो रखा गया. डिफीट ऑफ द एक्ट. डिडंट alter system of government. It did not in any way alter the system of government in India. Most of the provisions were enacted to safeguard the jewel of British Empire against any future threat or rebellion. Control without representation. It was dominated by absolute imperial control with no representation for people of India. Freedom free hand to Secretary of State. Secretary of State was the supreme authority and had a free hand in administration of India and was responsible only to British Parliament. हम देखेंगे मॉर्ले मिंटो रिफॉर्म. इंडियन काउंसिल एक्ट ऑफ 1909 और मॉर्ले मिंटो रिफॉर्म वॉज पास्ड बाई British Parliament in 1909 in an attempt to widen the scope of Legislative Council and attempt to increase the participation of Indians in the governance. Key features क्या है? Expansion of legislation. The act enlarged the size of legislative councils, both central and provincial. The number of members in Central Legislative Council was raised from 16 to 60. Indirect election. The elected members were elected indirectly. The local bodies elected an electoral causes that would elect members of provincial legislative council. These members would in turn elect the member of Central Legislative Council. Budget discussion. The act empowered the member to discuss the budget and move a resolution before it was approved finally. They were given the right to ask supplementary question and move resolution on matters related to loan to the local bodies. Communal electorates. It introduced separate electorate for Muslim. Some constituencies were earmarked for Muslim and only Muslim could vote their representatives. Indians in Executive Council. Lord Minto appointed Satyendra P. Sinha as his Indian member of Viceroy's Executive Council. Merit क्या है? Greater Indian involvement. It went on one step ahead towards the responsible association of elected Indians with the administration. Upheld elective principle. It also gave recognition to elective principle as the basis of the composition of Legislative Council for first time. Deliberative Council. They also got the opportunity to criticize the executive and make suggestions for better administration. Enlargement of legislature. The reform extended the number of representatives in central as well as provincial legislature. Drawback क्या है? Communalization of politics. The communal electorates divided the social fabric by emphasizing that different religion had different political interests in India. No effective power to Indians. The position of Governor General remained unchanged and his veto power remained undiluted, and the act successfully maintained relentless constitutional autocracy. No responsible government. While the parliamentary form were introduced, no responsibility was conceded. No clause on self-rule. The reform did little to address the Indian concern of self-rule and autonomy in internal affairs. Indirect election. There was no connection between the supposed primary voter and a man who sit as his representative on the Legislative Council. No real representation. The non-official majority was nullified by the fact that it included nominated members. There was no real majority of those who represented the people. The reform helped save the demand of Indian national movement and also highlighted the futility of communal electorate. The reform are essential to understand the Indian constitutional framework, which learned key lesson from the failure of Morley Minto reform. अब हम देखते हैं Montagu-Chelmsford reform. The Montagu-Chelmsford reform, or more briefly known as Montfort reform, were introduced by colonial government to introduce self-governing institution gradually in British India. The reform were outlined in Montagu-Chelmsford report prepared in 1918 and form the basis of Government of India Act of 1990. These are related to constitutional reform. Key provisions क्या है? Central and provincial list. It relaxes the central control over provinces by demarcating and separating the central and provincial subject. The central and provincial legislators were authorized to make law on their respective list of subjects. Diarchy. It further divided the provincial subject into two parts, transfer and reserved. The transfer subject were to be administered by governor with the aid of minister responsible to legislative council. The reserved subject, on the other hand, were to be administered by governor and his executive council without being responsible to legislative council. Bicameralism. It introduced for first time bicameralism and indirect election in the country. Thus, Indian Legislative Council was replaced by bicameral legislative consist of upper house and lower house. Indian representation. It requires that the three of the six members of Viceroy's Executive Council other than Commander-in-Chief were to be Indian. Extended communal electorate. It extended the principle of communal representation by providing separate electorate for six Indian, Christian, Anglo-Indians and Europeans. Direct election. The Indian Legislative Council was replaced by bicameral legislation where the majority of members, both houses, were chosen by direct election. Public Service Commission. It provided for establishment of a Public Service Commission. Hence, a Central Public Service Commission was set up in 1926 for recruiting civil servants. Appointment of Evaluation Commission. It provided for appointment of a statutory commission to inquire into and report on its working after 10 years of its coming into force. Limited voting right. It granted a franchise to limited number of people on the basis of property, tax or education. Merit क्या है? Direct election. For first time election were known to the people and it created political consciousness among the people. Self-government in provinces. The act led to the exercise of provincial self-government in India. The act gave the people the power to administer and administrative pressure from the government was greatly reduced. Right to women voter. It also gives right to vote to enfranchised Indian women. Expansion of voting rights. Expansion of voting right. Election area expanded in India and people began to understand the importance of voting. Concept of responsible government. This provision gave the opportunity to minister to formulate policies and measures for betterment of the people. The system of responsible government came into India for first time because the minister was accountable to legislator. Diarchy. The system of diarchy imparted crucial expansion to Indian legislature in the form of parliamentary form of government, which paved the way for introduction to provincial autonomy in the future. Drawbacks क्या है? Extended communal electorate. This act extended, consolidated and communal representation and further divided Indian society and politics. Improper structure of diarchy. The structure of diarchy was faulty because the division of subjudication was unscientific and irrational. For example, irrigation was placed on reserve subject, whereas agriculture subjudicates was of transfer category. Voter power. Governor could dismiss any minister at any time without giving any cause. Governor still enjoys veto power. Any resolution of Indian minister could be nullified by the governor easily. Improper allocation of seat. The allocation of seat for central legislative was not based on population but on the importance of province in the eyes of British. Absence of collective responsibility. The government of collective responsibility was absent. Any minister could be removed individually. Lack of administrative control. At the center, the legislative has no control over the viceroy and his executive council. The provincial minister had no control over finances and over bureaucrats. This would lead to constant friction between the two. Limited extension of electorates. The electorate was extended to some 1.5 million for central legislature, while population of India was around 260 million as per one estimate. The reform were a step towards some more constitutionalism in India, but still did not address the core demand of Indians, which was self-rule and autonomy. Further, these measures were widely seen throughout India as a betrayal of strong support given by people for British in World War. देखो अब हम आते हैं गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया एक्ट ऑफ 1935। देखो 1990 रिफॉर्म्स फेल्ड ऑन इंडियन एस्पिरेशन। द रिफॉर्म ऑफ 1990 failed to fulfill the aspiration of people of India. The Congress under leadership of Mahatma Gandhi started for Swaraj to be attained through non-cooperation. India's hope from World War I support. India support to British in World War I also aided in British acknowledgement of the need for inclusion of more Indians in the administration of their own country. Provision of Statutory Commission. As per the Government of India Act of 1990, a statutory commission was to be appointed at the expiration of 10 years after passing of Act for purpose of inquiry into the working of the system and development of representative institution in India. Constitution of Simon Commission. The British government appointed Simon Commission in 1927 to inquire into report of 1919 Act. This was done as a concession to British demand for an early revision of the Act. Protest on Simon Commission. The commission consists of 7 members from British Parliament. It did not have a single Indian member. It was taken as an insult to self-respect of Indians and hence boycotted. Amid protest of Simon go back, the Simon Commission visited India. Roundtable Conference. Commencement of Roundtable Conference. When Simon Commission report came out, it was seen that the report was not satisfactory, which would led to consultation with Indian community representative at the Roundtable Conference held in London. But Roundtable Conference was a failure and white paper was released. Linlithgow Commission. A committee was set up under the chairmanship of Lord Linlithgow, the Viceroy of India, to consider the recommendation of white paper. 1935 Act was made. The report of committee was published in 1934 that was contained in a bill of law. The report along with bill was passed in British Parliament. After the royal assent, the act was enforced in country as a Government of India Act of 1935. Key feature of this act: to end the system of diarchy introduced by Government of India Act of 1990 and provided for the establishment of a Federation of India to made up of provinces of British India and some and all of the princely state. However, the federation was never formed because it lacked the required number of princely states. Provision. Creation of All India Federation. It provided for establishment of All India Federation consist of provinces and princely states as unit. Division of power. It divided the power between central and unit in terms of 3 lists: federalist, provinces list and concurrent list. Residuary power were given to Viceroy. However, this federation never fructified since princely state did not join it. Provincial autonomy. It abolished hierarchy in the provinces and introduced provinces autonomy in its place. Setting up of a federal legislature. Bicameralism was introduced. The federal legislature was to consist of 2 houses. It envisaged setting up of a Council of State and Federal Assembly with the reservation in Council of State for minorities, women and depressed class. Indian Council of Secretary of State abolished. The Government of India Act of 1935 abolished the Indian Council of Secretary of State established by Government of India Act of 1858. Setting up of institution. The Act provided for setting up Federal Public Service Commission, Provinces Public Service Commission and Joint Public Service Commission, Federal Court and Reserve Bank of India. Federal Railway Authority was established. Government of India Act of 1935 established a Federal Railway Authority which was vested with the control of railway. Reorganization of provinces. Government of India Act of 1935 reorganized the following provinces. Sindh was separated from Bombay province. Bihar and Odisha were established as a separate province. Burma and Aden separated. Importance क्या है? Franchise. The Act introduced direct election in India for first time. Distribution of power. Government of India Act of 1935 curtailed the power concentrated in the hand of central government and distributed it among decentralized form of government. Women and worker empowerment. Separate electorate for women despite the fact that they had not requested it were beneficial to women's advancement in decision making process. Workers had their own representation as well, which added in progress of working class. More voting right. The act provide voting right to more people than given under Government of India Act of 1919. Help in Indian Constitution. The drafter of Indian Constitution took into account those characteristics of Government of India Act that were well suited to a free India. For example, appointment of governor, public service commission, etc. Defeat of Act. No dominion status. Dominion status, which was promised by Simon Commission in year 1929, were not conferred by Government of India Act of 1935. Discretionary power. The new act armed the governor and governor general with tremendous discretionary power, thus reduced provinces' autonomy on paper. In a way, the act made the governor so powerful that they could play the dictator if they liked. Legislation regarding provinces list. The federal legislature had the power to legislate with the respect to subject enumerated in provinces list if a proclamation of emergency was made by Governor General. Issue of communal electorate. Separate communal electorate were a measure through which the British wanted to ensure Congress party could never rule on its own. It also a way to keep the people undivided. British Parliament supremacy. The British Parliament retains its supremacy over Indian legislature, both provincial and federal. Defective federation. The proposed formation of federation was also fundamentally defective. Entry into federation was compulsory for provinces but voluntary for princely state. Residuary power. The allocation of residuary power was unique. It was not vested in either of the legislative center and or provinces, but Governor General was empowered to authorize either the federal or provinces legislature to enact a law with respect to any residuary subject. Issue with Secretary of State. Until 1947, the British Parliament and Secretary of State for India were the de facto ruler of country. As a result, it is not unexpected that Act of 1935 was met with disdain and resentment. Lack of flexibility. The legislation failed to provide individuals with constitutional flexibility in terms of amending their rights because British government had the ability to adjust or alter any right while Indian were unable to do anything in accordance with their demand. अब है तुम्हारा इंडियन इंडिपेंडेंस एक्ट ऑफ 1947. एटली अनाउंसमेंट 15th March 1946. Lord Attlee, PM of England, made a historic announcement in which the right of self-determination and framing of constitution for India was conceded. Cabinet Mission 1946. Both Muslim League and Congress accepted the plan. Consequently, elections were held in July 1946 for formation of Constituent Assembly. Lord Mountbatten came to India. Lord Mountbatten came to India with a specific task of seeing over the handing over of authority to Indians. But Indian National Congress and League could not agree on question of partition. Plan Vulcan. Between March and May of 1947, Mountbatten decided that the cabinet mission plan had become untenable and formulated an alternative plan. Balkan plan envisaged the transfer of power to separate provinces or to a confederation if formed before the transfer. The plan was quickly abandoned after Nehru reacted violently to it. 3 June plan. Then Mountbatten came up with the last plan known as 3 June plan, which was accepted by all party. The Indian National Congress, which was opposed to any partition of country, finally accepted it as an inevitable process. Final outcome. As per this plan, India would be partitioned into India and Pakistan. The constitution framed by the Constituent Assembly would not be applicable to area which would go into Pakistan. These provinces would then decide on a separate Constituent Assembly. Key features क्या हैं? To provide for smooth transition of power and partition India into two separate nations. Provisions है partition of India. The partition of country into India and Pakistan would come into effect from 15th August 1947. Transfer of power. The act provided for transfer of power to Constituent Assembly of two dominions, which will have full authority to frame their respective constitution. Constitution of Boundary Commission. Punjab and Bengal will be divided and its boundary will be separated by Boundary Commission headed by Mr. Radcliffe. Termination of British suzerainty over princely state with effect of 15 August 1947 and recognize the right of state to remain independent or accede to either the domination. End of British domination. British domination of state and tribal territories of India will end on 15th August 1947. In case power will be transferred not to dominion but left to state to decide whether they want to participate in India or Pakistan. Secretary of State seized. The office of Secretary of State for India will be abrogated. Provision for Governor General. Provision was made for Governor General for every territory who was to be named by Queen of England on the exhortation of dominant government. He was not to act in his individual judgment or circumspection, however, will act just to constitutional head of state. Sovereign legislation. Each dominant must have a sovereign legislature to set the rule. No legislation passed by British Parliament will automatically apply to India. Constituent Assembly. Both countries will have their constitutional assembly, which will also act as legislative body. Until a constitution is formulated by a constituent assembly in any dominion, it will work as closely as possible with Government of India with 1935 Act. This continuation of civil services appointment. The Act also provided for continuation of all the benefit of civil servant appointed on or before 15th August 1947. However, it discontinued the appointment of civil service and reservation of post by Secretary of State for India. Division of property. The Act also made provision for division of joint property between two new countries, including in particular the division of armed forces. Importance. UK or India relation now managed through Office of Commonwealth Affairs. Renounce of title. The King of England renounced the title of King and Emperor of India. Beginning of new era. The adoption of Indian Independence Act of 1947 was significant for Constitutional Department. The law marked the beginning of new era of free India. End of tussle between Indian National Congress and Muslim League with the acceptance of two nations. There is an end on of long-standing tussle between two factions. Partition with referendum. The Northwest Frontier Province was a subject of referendum, which will be depends on people's will. Defect क्या है? Division of India. The independence of India came at a huge cost, as it was decided that British India would be partitioned on religious line. Hindi majority India and Muslim majority Pakistan. Bottleneck. Problem of early warning. Breakneck speed of event under Mountbatten caused anomalies in arranging the detail of partition totally failed to prevent Punjab massacre because no transition institution, there was no transitional institutional structure within which the partition problem could be tackled. Broken link. Mountbatten had hoped to be the common Governor General of India and Pakistan, thus providing the necessary link, but Jinnah wanted the position for himself in Pakistan. Non-satisfaction. The law marked the beginning of a new era of free India, but a large number of people and leaders were not satisfied. For example, Gandhi was unsatisfied with the partition and massacre. Also, Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad commented 14 August for Muslim in Pakistan is a day, for Hindu and Sikh it is a day of mourning. Threat to unity. The end of British rule over Indian state, granting them access to dominion or maintaining independence, pose a serious threat to the unity of state of India.